Welcome back to Medicine Made Easy with me, Kavya Tendral. Now we will be continuing with the intracranial complications of chronic suppurative otitis media. Before that, if you have not subscribed our channel, do subscribe for more interesting videos like this, and as well press the bell icon so that you will receive a daily video notification. You can even send to your friends so that we'll all learn together. And we have also have an Instagram page. The link for that Instagram page is in the description. You can to check it out. In previous videos on complications, we have discussed all important complications of CSOM. If you have not even watched that, the description I have given the link, you can go through after this discussion. Now coming back to today's discussion on otitic hydrocephalus. Now otitic hydrocephalus has some other name. Do you know that? And if you are saying it is in Simon syndrome, you are right. Yes, so Simon syndrome is other name for otitic hydrocephalus, and this term is given in KKR short practice of otorhinolaryngology book, edition number 4. You can refer it there. Now coming to a topic proper. Otitic hydrocephalus, what does that signify? Otitic means the pathology is starting in the ear first. Hydrocephalus, it does mean there is a disturbed CSF flow, and the dynamics of CSF is actually disturbed. Now how come in ear and CSF is related to each other? If we think, we get a common connection that is called dural venous sinus involvement. Now it means the disease of ear, it is involved in dural venous sinus. Let us now revise how come the dural venous sinuses are relating to ear. And this is the simple diagram which depicts the relation of the dural venous sinus with the ear. Now if you see, this is the jugular bulb, and here is the sigmoid sinus. These are actually related to the floor of the middle ear. So whenever there is an infection to the infection in the middle ear, it can easily spread through the sinuses. So having this in mind, see here, when the infection is present here, most probably it is going to cause a retrograde thrombophlebitis, and there is an thrombus formation, and emboli is going to dislodge from that thrombus and is going to cause further sequelae. Have this in mind, and this is the relation between dural venous sinus and CSOM, and the relevance is this disease, that is otitic hydrocephalus or Simon syndrome, and lateral sinus thrombophlebitis. Now, as we have discussed, by the CSOM, there's disturbance in the dural venous sinus, that is disturbance in the CSF dynamics by a pathology is occurring in the dural venous sinus, that is probably in the sigmoid sinus and jugular bulb, because of retrograde thrombophlebitis. This inflammation is spreading up towards the superior sagittal sinus, that is going to impede the CSF absorption through arachnoid villi. Now ultimately what is happening is raised intracranial pressure. Now what happens, because of the raised intracranial pressure, again the symptoms of the same is going to happen, that is patient can present with severe headache, blurring of vision because of papilledema and diplopia. Now there is an expected complication that the person can land up into blindness due to optic atrophy. Apart from that, there is, we know it is a person who can develop papilledema, he can have nystagmus, and the intracranial pressure, what we are saying is nearly more than 300 millimeters of water. Now management, we can do repeated lumbar puncture or lumboperitoneal shunt we can do, and to reduce the intracranial pressure we can give acetazolamide. To reduce inflammation, corticosteroids is given, and together it is going to increase the intracranial pressure. And antibiotics, as it's an infective etiology, we can give antibiotics, and mustard exploration is done for thrombosis. This is all about the outline of otitic hydrocephalus. Hope you like this video, and you can share this video with your friends, and let us all learn together. Thank you so much. We'll meet in next video. Till then, stay tuned.